know that this session will also be recorded, just as our previous overview meeting also from the launch date on the 27th was also recorded. We're trying to actually get that posted to the website if it has not already been done within the last hour as well. But again, my name is Sylvia Smith, and I'm the Assistant Director here with Neighborhood Equity and Stabilization. I'd like to take this opportunity for the staff to introduce themselves just very quickly. They don't have to, if you can come off camera, please do so, and then we'll start from there. And then I'd like to have those that are in the meeting here to also introduce themselves. So we'll start with, let's just go up here. Roger. He's not coming off. Mariana.
Hi, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Mariana Diaz. I'm a community development representative with NEST. I'm so glad to see you all here today with us.
Dan.
Oh, Dan Fector, Senior Internal Auditor with DITA. Good to meet you.
I see Kelsey's joined us.
Hi, Kelsey Murphy. I'm the Data Platform Manager with DITA. Good to see you all.
Okay. Tara.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Tara Olden. I'm also with NEST. I support Sylvia and with the CDBG program. Nice to meet you.
Great. Let's see. We have Meredith.
Hi, everyone. I'm Meredith. I am the Executive Assistant over at NEST.
Eric.
Hello, everyone. I'm Eric Valdez. I'm the Executive Office Staff Assistant.
Thanks, Eric, for joining. I'm not sure if Roger is there. I know we have a representative from Department of Public Health and Environment today, so Lane.
Hi, everyone. I'm Lane Tabowski. I'm the Food Systems Administrator with Denver Department of Public Health and Environment. Happy to answer any questions about the food access elements.
Great. Thank you. And then for those of you that are on the outside, I think there's a Antoinette, you're here from the fax? Possibly?
Yes. Hi. Good afternoon. Antoinette with the Fax Partnership, Project Director for the Act 03 Collaborative.
Great. Mr. Duran?
Yes, Bruce Duran. I'm from Hope Center, the Development Director.
Nice to meet you.
You too, ma'am.
I'm not sure if that's Mr. or Miss Nelson, Bryn.
Hi, everyone. My name is Bryn Nelson. I am the Workforce Development Specialist for Mile High United Way.
Oh, great. Nice to meet you. Gwendolyn.
Hi, I'm Gwendolyn Malmy. I'm representing the Zion Senior Center under the umbrella of Zion Baptist Church.
Yeah, welcome. Hans. Okay, maybe Hans won't. I think he's here from organization Hans Cooper. Lauren?
Oh, hi, everyone. I'm Lauren Howe. I manage the Healthy Food for Denver's Kids program out at the Department of Public Health and Environment.
Great. Sarah? And how about Tony Frank?
Yes, thank you. My name is Tony Frank. I'm the Development Director at Bayard Enterprises. Thank you very much.
Great, thank you. Well, I just want to take this opportunity to welcome you all to the Q&A technical assistance segment of our NOFA. This is actually the first time we've actually held a technical assistance Q&A portion to the NOFA. And so the notice, the NOFA was actually released on September 22nd, and then we held our first general informational meeting on Monday, September 27th. And so that information is posted on our website. So the intent and point of today is for us not to review that informational meeting. We are here to basically, assuming that folks have read the application guidelines, have read the proposal checklist, understand the acronyms, the federal definitions, have seen everything that's on that website. So today our purpose is we have the staff here available to speak to you about any technical assistance questions you may have. You need clarity on the application and or most specifically the Zenjen platform. So any technical difficulties you may have had. So again, this will be recorded. All the information that is discussed today will then be posted again to another addendum. And then again on the Monday, October 25th, we will have another final Q&A TA session. So feel free at this point, please just make sure that you introduce yourself when you speak and ask your question. We actually would prefer the question to be in the chat as well, but since we are able to download a transcript, it's really fine if you don't. But please do state your organization again when you ask your question. Thank you. And we have individuals here that, just so you know, that are representative of our program staff and also from our fiscal staff and from the technical assistant, from the platform that created the application. We have Kelsey here, so if you have any questions around that. So we'll try to answer the questions best as we can, and if we're unable to do so, then we definitely will make sure that we get that question down, and then we will make sure that it gets answered in the addendum. So who has the first question? Is there a question? Don't be shy.
Hi, this is. Oh,
sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead. I was going to say we think that, you know, reading the addendum from that original kickoff, if you've not had the chance to peruse that, you know, you probably should, and we can give folks time to peruse that on the website because there were a lot of basic questions that were asked during that session and then again responded to and then placed onto the website. So you could take a look at that if folks here may not have had that opportunity to do so. But I think that might have been Antoinette asking a question. I'm not sure, but go ahead.
Yeah. Okay, thanks. So Antoinette with the Facts Partnership. I had a question around the invoicing, and I would be applying on behalf of a collaborative, most likely a fee per service model, and was wondering if the city would be amenable to maybe having an invoice model where some of the partners would be able to invoice the fiscal agent for services provided. Is that a possible structure that we could include in our proposal?
When you say invoice model, I don't think I understand what you mean. Maybe Tara does, but I'm sorry, I don't understand what you mean.
Yeah, sure. So I think the last time we were talking about there's the fee for service, and then there's the fee based on your FTE and basically reimbursement of salary. Mm-hmm. And was just wondering if since we're a collaborative and just trying to think of a way to best move this forward, if there's a way that the members of the collaborative could invoice, sort of, it would be an internal fee per service, and that invoice would go to the fiscal agent on the proposal.
Hmm.
So hi, Antoinette. So yes, the fiscal agent would be responsible for, sorry, that's my dog. The fiscal agent would be responsible for all of the invoicing. So, we do have templates. We have templates on how we want the, specifically to salary, how that should be reported with supporting documentation. You know, your supporting documentation should be time cards that show approval, internal approval, that sort of thing. But all of the invoicing would be at the address of the fiscal agent. Is that the question you asked?
Sort of. I guess I'm just wondering, as far as like the salary, if we have like multiple partners that we would be a part of the proposal, and instead of including all the timesheets and things of that nature, if it's just possible to have like an invoice for the services provided versus the invoice specific to the salary.
Okay, so it answered directly, no, it would have to be invoiced directly towards the salary, because
Okay.
what you have to show is the portion that CDBG is paying and also the portion that CDBG is not paying. So you have to show that person's total salary with the supporting documentation and then delineate what portion CDBG is reimbursing.
Got it. Thanks.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Tara.
Lisa, I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing that. Naples, you have your hand raised.
Yes, yes. So hi, I'm Lisa, and I'm from Tech Nation. And the reason, the biggest question that I have is kind of a little bit along the terms of the last question. So I'm assuming obviously this is a reimbursement.
Yes.
Is that correct? Okay.
Yes.
And the reason I ask this is because over the past year since the pandemic, there have been some just delays on other city grants that are like reimbursement grants. And so I guess my question is, if anybody is approved for that grant, is there, how strict is the reporting on it, I guess is my question. Is there a chance that if they are not, if they don't like the way that we're reporting or how we're submitting it to you, is there a possibility that it would not be reimbursed as far as invoicing?
Well, I mean, I would say once if a contract is awarded, and we have Dan, who's our senior internal auditor here, but we, for contracts that are awarded, again, you're right, it is a reimbursable, so we expect to see all required documentation, and we do give individuals a fiscal training for those that are awarded.
Okay, great.
So it's not like we're just going to leave you high and dry. We will definitely be, once folks are awarded, we do host an all grantee sort of overview, and when folks, you're partnered with the programs person, the person that's assigned to your contract, and you pretty much do walk that entire program year with that individual and a fiscal representative. So does that help guide you a little bit? And then we can have Dan, our senior internal auditor, can speak to your question as well.
Yeah, that helps a lot, because we had a situation with a HUD grant recently where, I mean, it was literally something happened, the reporting and everything, something was off by literally like $5, and they literally would not, they nixed that entire like 1 month, 1 month batch of invoices, and literally would not reimburse not just that few dollars, but like the whole lot that went with that.
Right. Yeah. I know we've had the philosophy of the cut and go. If there's things that are discrepancies, that the fiscal department definitely takes a look at those that are acceptable and move forward with that payment, and then, work to rectify what the other issue is. But I'll let Dan speak to it.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, to Sylvia's point, we do a fiscal training with anyone who's awarded one of our grants, and the training that you receive is not just a random one from the city and county of Denver. It's from our actual fiscal team that you would be working with during this time. And with that, we do go through everything that is relevant to the budget proposal. So if it's personnel costs, if we're talking about a fee-for-service contract, anything of that nature, we go through exactly what our documentation requirements are. And then, yeah, I mean, we do look at it very closely as well. That's just kind of part of the responsibility that we have as well. During these times of COVID, everything comes under a lot more scrutiny. But that's why we are upfront, and we, there's also a great spot. I believe it's attached as well somewhere, but it's a fiscal administration page, and that outlines exactly what we're looking for from a documentation perspective for reimbursement.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you so much.
Of course.
Oh, okay, and I just wanted to add, if it's Lisa or Liza, I'm not quite sure how to pronounce your name, but I didn't think that you were on early on when we opened this conversation, but we are here today to only speak to just specific questions as relates to the guidelines, the application, and then anything to do with the platform of Zenjen.
Okay.
But please do refer to the website, because we have attached the addendum and the presentation, and then we are working on placing the recording from that session. It should have been up by now, so we do apologize, but we've had some technical glitches, I think, in posting the session, the recorded session. And so, you'll have some guidance there as well. But everything will be posted on the website, and then any questions that are asked today and then responded to will also be an additional addendum. And then October 25th, we'll have one more.
Okay, thank you very much.
Next question. And I don't know, I'm not monitoring the chat, so let's see if there's anything here. Nope. Any questions? Again, since this is our first time in doing a TA for the notice of funding availability, we weren't quite sure what to expect, but we wanted to definitely open it up for questions and answers and hold this time for the hour. So we will be here until 2 o'clock. So if folks wanted
in the conference room.
So if some of you want to sort of peruse the website and take a look at the addendum or glance through anything before you answer a question or ask a question, excuse me, feel free to take the time right now to do so, because we will be on this phone, on this chat until 2 o'clock. Yeah, there's a question about dropping the addendum into the chat. Tara has done that for you. So if you all take a look in the chat, the addendum has been placed there from our website.
In the addendum, there was an answer to the question around zip code and census tract, and it says that you can indicate service areas by council district, neighborhood, or census tract. So is neighborhood, is that area code, or how is a neighborhood delineated?
You just list the name of the neighborhood.
Okay. And
Yeah,
so when we're, oh,
go
sorry,
ahead. No, go ahead.
I was just saying, so if you have a neighborhood, I guess what is then the limit? Are we going by streets, zip codes? Do we provide like a map of the service area? How would we be specific to that for invoicing?
So, is that Antoinette?
Yes.
Hi, Antoinette. So, in answer to that question, if you look at the application, there's actually links in there where you can enter zip code information, and it gives you census tract information, it gives you neighborhood information, it gives you council district information. So it's really all three of those ways in which you can indicate and give a very good definition and explanation of what area you're targeting. So that's available in the application. And then as far as invoicing, it really would depend on how you are setting up the infrastructure of your program, on how you're going to, whether it's a fee-for-service program or whether it is a more traditional, budget where you're outlining personnel and other services. So in order for us to say, well, how do you invoice for that? It depends on how you're setting up your outcomes, how you're outlining what your outcomes are going to be. So until we see that, I don't think we can say you can invoice specific to that targeted area in that general way.
Got it.
Your invoice is tied to your outcomes.
Got it. Thanks.
Mm-hmm.
And I see that how we laid out the response in that question for the addendum is how, Tara, I'm assuming too, how you gathered it from because our scope template has not changed and is not changing. And so we do ask those very specific, right? It's like, what is the council district? What is the neighborhood? And what is the census tract? So that's how it's sort of laid out in our scope as well.
That's correct.
The scope template. Let's see who's still remaining on the phone. Hans, do you have anything specific you wanted to ask? I believe you were on the very first meeting as well, correct?
I was, and everything seems pretty straightforward. This is my first time I'm using the Zenjen, so
okay.
I've been in it, and it looks pretty straightforward. So everything everyone said thus far seems pretty straightforward. So I don't have any questions. This is more so just another learning opportunity for me. But
definitely, thank you. Thank you. Kelsey, anything you wanted to say around the Zenjen? I know that we're not revisiting our general information meeting, but is there anything sort of either high level or just sort of generic that you would want to share with any of these folks that are on here today on our new platform?
I think that Zenjen is pretty straightforward. So the portal will kind of walk you through a profile setup at first, and that's how we link your application to your contact information. And then you'll go straight into the application. So everything can be done within that submission portal. So it's pretty straightforward, but any links that are in there are all clickable through the application. So, for example, to Antoinette's question, sorry, I also have dogs. You can click on those. So if there's a question you have around a council district or a neighborhood, there's a link to the city website that has those defined areas. So if you're not sure what neighborhood your address falls into, there's maps, and there's also searchable options to be able to look up those. And then, of course, there's contact information through there. So if you do ever run into an issue using Zenjen, or are seeing that you're having issues accessing a portion of it, you can email the email that's in there, and then we'll be able to give you some technical assistance around your application.
Mm-hmm. And I would say for those of you who are applying for the first time, and even those that, if any of you are returning, the fact that this year we've moved to that Zenjen platform, it's good. We're just thankful. We're thankful for Kelsey and Jonathan for helping move us toward this new platform. And it does seem a little bit easier. We've used it on another grant opportunity that we had, and I was amazed at it seemed pretty seamless. So, and so it's a lot easier for the user. But again, if you have any issues regarding that, and just for those of you still remaining, if you have a question at any point during this NOFA process until the application closes on November 8th, you do not have to wait until the technical assistance portions, meaning today and the 25th, to ask your question. You are free to send in your inquiry to the proposal, the link that is provided to you for the inbox for the NOFA proposal. So you can just send your inquiry there, and we will respond as well. And those questions will make it then onto the addendum. But you do not have to wait to ask your question. And specifically for anything to do with Zenjen, that happens immediately. If there's a glitch in the system or something that you don't understand, you can get a response right away on those. Let's see who's still remaining. Bruce or Gwendolyn, any questions from you? Sarah? Sharon?
Yes. Yeah, we just wanted to be sure as far as under nonprofit categories, if that does include faith-based entities.
Yep. Yes. Sorry.
Okay. And I have not read through the NOFA in its entirety, but just from some of the other questions that have been asked about invoicing, is this strictly a cost reimbursable project?
It's reimbursement, yeah. So basically, our when awarded, those that are we deem you as a contractor. Upon delivery of those services, you send in your expenses monthly, and then you are reimbursed for those. So we call it reimbursement contract.
Got it. Thank you.
For those of you, you stated that you had not yet read through the information yet. Before we know it, today is exactly a month from the day that the proposal is going to be due. but highly, highly suggest that you read through the information that is on the website, the guidelines, the addendum, the checklist, the acronyms, all of those things. And please do not wait until the final moment to submit the application. We suggest you not do that. Be probably as much prepared as possible before the 25th, because then you'll have one more opportunity to put forth the questions as well on anything that you need more information on or further understanding of. So yes.
Hi, Hans. I think your hand is up.
Yes, I just wanted to, so I've already started, like I said before, the Zenjen portal seems really cool and I like it. I've already started filling it out, but sometimes I've been in application portals where even though it doesn't look like there's a character limit, there is one once you hit submit, and then it'll tell you that you've gone over it. So I don't see any restrictions in the narrative sections where you can write more information, but I just wanted to, I didn't want to assume. So
great question. Great question.
In the narrative sections?
Yeah, that's a great question. So the smaller text boxes do have a character limit of 250. That's where you put in your name, or your first name, your last name, things like that. The larger text boxes for the narrative don't have a word limit.
Thank you, Hans, for that question. That's a great one. We need to definitely put that one on the website. I mean, on the, because you're probably not the only one that has that one. So great. Thank you for asking that one.
Thank you.
And I just learned something, so, so thanks. Looks like someone has their hand up. I can't tell who it is. Or maybe they don't. Something looked like it went down. Although we're not revisiting the presentation from the 27th, I do want to stress the changes in the application for this year. So folks really need to be abreast of what is included on our slide presentation and in the recorded sessions as we speak to the collaborations, the minimum threshold, and the new budget templates. For those of you who are returning, you'll see a new budget template, but for those of you as first-time applicants, it's not anything that you're probably very familiar with as it relates to what we had previous. But please do pay attention to the requirements and the collaboration of what we're looking for, the minimum threshold of that $150,000 minimum budget, and then the budget templates. Hopefully made much easier and user-friendly as well, thanks to Dan and his team.
Hi, this is Antoinette again. Is there any conflict of interest if we speak to developing a partnership with the Denver Police Department, including this grant? We wouldn't necessarily, they wouldn't receive invoice or money necessarily, but just in partnership with them. Is there any conflicts there?
I mean, we don't design your program, so it is going to be what it is that you choose to propose and who your partnerships are going to be with, but I couldn't see any.
Okay. Thanks.
Roger wanted to emphasize that up to 4 invoices can be submitted within a 1-month period. I believe that figure is still correct, right, Roger? It is the 4?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. Sarah or Bruce, any questions from you? And I can't tell who's actually still on or if they're just on the phone. I should also emphasize again, please pay specific attention as well to the stated priorities in the NOFA guidelines as well. So please ensure that your application will speak to the stated priorities in the NOFA guidelines. Sarah McCarthy signing off. Thank you. And for those of you who are unable to attend the September 27th general information meeting, please do check back early next week. I'm hoping maybe by Monday as well, to see if we can have that link posted from I think it's our city IT department that has to help us post that. I'm not quite sure what the glitch is in that, but please do make sure that you check. And I do apologize if it has to be on a daily basis, but I would suggest that you check that and watch that presentation. I do believe it's about an hour and a half, but it would behoove you to really listen to that and hear what other questions came up during the meeting, and then hear us make the presentation that builds a little bit more upon the PowerPoint presentation as well. So the accompanying PowerPoint presentation. We have about 15 minutes left. So we'll just hang out here. And if you have a question, please just come off mute. We're down to 10 minutes now. And just for those of you that are remaining, if you're wondering why we have it structured this way, the city has very strict procurement rules. And so since this is an open request for proposal, we stated exactly the process and the deadlines and the dates and the deadlines as to how, of what folks needed to adhere to as they submit these proposals. And so the general information meeting that was on the 27th was the only opportunity that folks as a group were going to come, and we spoke to folks just in general. And so we're not speaking outside of that unless, again, you have a very specific question after reviewing the information, and then the Q&A, the technical assistance on anything to do with the application or Zenjen, or any technical glitches that you may notice. So that is the reason. Because it was stated in our guidelines and in our advertisement of how we were doing this. So it was only going to be one general information meeting, and then we would host the two Q&A technical assistants, and then we would post that information to the website. So I apologize for what seems to be a lot of dead air, but that is the way that it's stated, and that's what we're following. So it's 1:58. We'll be signing off here in 2 minutes, so I'll take the last couple minutes just to reiterate again that we ask that people visit the DITO website for the 2022 Notice of Funding Opportunity under Neighborhood Services. You will find there the application guideline in both English and Spanish. There is the proposal checklist, the acronyms that we use, the HUD federal definitions, the sample template, and the sample agreement, just to give you an idea of sort of what you'll see if one is awarded a contract. The information on the general information meeting is posted. You have the addendum from that very first session on the 27th. You'll have again in the next couple of days, I think we posted within 3 days, that we have the addendum from today's meeting. And I definitely want to call attention to you all on that website. There is something called the user's guide. That's a very helpful guidance document about sort of giving you an overview sort of these HUD funds as well, from housing and urban development, the community development block grant funds. So that's at the top of that funding opportunities page. So again, please revisit this. The application deadline for completed proposals will be 4 p.m. on Monday, November 8th. I want to make sure that I thank everyone here who's participating, those internal to DITO, some of our partners in the city agencies, and then those of you that are interested in applying for the 2022 NOFA. So thank you again, and please again remember you do not have to wait until the October 25th final session for the Q&A. You can just pop your question to the DITO inbox, proposal inbox, and we'll respond promptly to that. So again, thank you all for joining today. Have a good day. Take care.